test, okay? So right here we had a crazy Yo, what's up guys? Just wanted to go over quickly a couple setups that I have taken this week. And about 2 videos ago, the one that was uploaded on Tuesday, actually I went over 2 setups, EJ and EU. They did play out pretty well. They were both winners for me personally. And then I'm going to go over an EU loss that I had taken just this morning. Because if I show you my winners, I'm going to show you my losers too. As you know, kind of the whole theme on this channel is to be completely transparent. Like, that's what we desire. So here we go. So on EJ, we were sitting at a major zone, okay? So as you can see, this is a very, very, very important zone. We had a breakdown from it and a retest, okay? So right here, we had a crazy big rejection candle. And something that actually Jimmy, he's here with me chilling on the couch marking up some charts right now, but something that Jimmy had taught me was once you see a rejection candle, you place a stop order below or above, depending on if it's a support or resistance. But here it was retesting as resistance, so it was below. So I had a sell stop, looking for sells below with a stop loss above here. So what this does is it avoided pretty much all drawdown. Not that I'm trying to avoid drawdown, but I want to be in the trade when it moves. So that's what we did. So we had a sell stop that was right below this candle. So it was activated, as you can see, during this candle. And the stop loss was just above the close that candle, and the risk to reward on this was not that great. It was actually only about a 1.8, and I usually like to take at least 1 to 2, preferably, because you never know when your losses are going to be. You're always going to take a loss, always. So make sure that your winners run and that you have a solid risk to reward. But the thing is, I did have another one that had a really high risk to reward, and I'll show you that quickly. So there's that. The reason I had my take profit down here is because there was a big trend line that it was obeying, and that's this one. And it actually did, literally, this was the candle. It was just a big old 4-hour wick rejection, but thankfully, take profits do not care about that. So there's EJ for you guys. And here's EU. So what we had on EU was a 4-hour trend line, as you can see there. And we had a major zone right here that has been support or resistance many times before. Then we had a very solid bearish rejection candle right here. As you can see, it engulfed the past 4-hour candles, so I consider that a bearish engulfing candle. And if you go back here, so I had a sell stop below this candle, okay, and pretty much it was just making a flag pattern, and my take profit was down here, okay. Actually, it was like at 1.1215. So this had a really good risk to reward, and it paid me very well. It was one of my biggest trades ever. So that was awesome. And, it weighed out the risk to reward that I had on EJ. So as you can see, I had some solid confirmations. I had a trend line break, and then it was at a major zone. So those are definitely my biggest trade edges, as you can say, and then a rejection candle is usually the entry point. So last night I marked up EU, okay, and I'll show you what was going on with EU. So right here we have a break of this trend, okay, so we broke it out, and then it was kind of just abiding it right there. I had a pretty solid zone right here. So we had some solid rejection in the past at that zone, abiding this, and we also had a daily rejection off of this major zone. We had a daily close right there, and go back to the 4 hour, solid bullish candle right there. So on the 1 hour, it was abiding it. It had broken and retested this, so it looked really, really solid. It was a very clean entry. But the thing is, so right after here, after this candle, we had a rejection candle. It was bullish. I had my buy stops placed above right here and stop loss below this. As you can see, it was activated never in drawdown before it went into profit. But actually, this trade was a loss because my risk to reward, actually, I'll show you guys exactly what was going on. So I had this entry right here. Stop loss was very tight, which was totally okay. And the take profit was up here. So it was actually an amazing risk to reward. Literally 1 to 5, 1 to 6, depending on the spread, because it's such a tight stop loss. It can differ quite heavily. So we had that entry. That's the reason I got in, all of that. But I went to bed, and I woke up, okay, took a small L, just a 2% loss, nothing crazy. And I woke up and I realized, oh, wow, this is actually an important zone. And I didn't see it when I was marking up my charts. I had just put this zone. When I was looking at this, I thought the next major zone was up here. Okay, so right there. And I think it is a major zone. But minor zones do play a key level. So what I did is I inverted this scale this morning as I realized, okay, this must have been important. And I wanted to see why. So, I don't know, for some reason, whenever I inverted it, this just really, screamed at me, wow, I'm important. And it's weird because when it was inverted, when it was normal, I didn't really see that zone, but now I do. So, and I'm not trying to blame the markets at all whatsoever, but there is always a reason that, the trade takes an L, and, you just want to add. And the reason I want to, get better every single day. But another thing I want to talk about is actually I kind of went to bed. So I was up here. I was in profit about 10 pips. And for some reason, I did not feel secure in this trade, okay? So I moved my stop a little tighter. And I actually should have gotten out of the trade, because when you find yourself checking a trade, every 20, 30 minutes, that's just toxic. This is the first trade that has happened to me that I've been doing that, or that I did that in probably 2 to 3 months. So I knew something was wrong. My subconscious, my receptors were weird. My reward system was feeling off, so I knew that I should have just taken profit, taken a clean slate, and not because I thought I was going to lose. It was because I did not feel good about the trade, even though it was a very clean setup. This is all my entries. I just didn't, something felt off. And listen to yourself, and that's what I learned from this trade, is to listen to myself. There's always going to be fear and doubt, but there's a difference between fear and doubt and just not being comfortable being in a trade, because your subconscious is saying, or your even your conscious is saying, for some reason I can't sleep. Why is this happening? Why am I still checking the trade? And that's when it doesn't matter if you're in profit or a little bit of drawdown. Just get out of the trade. Just clean slate. It doesn't matter if the trade would have won or if it would have lost. You're better off living a better life than being in a trade that you don't want to be in and constantly, thinking about the trade. Like, you want to be in the trade, forget it. Who cares what happens? Because your edge is going to play out. Your probability is going to play out in the long term. You never know when your winners are going to be. You never know when your losses are going to be.